Hey everyone, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're coming from. With the spring equinox, more sunny in the northern hemisphere. I really like it, so sending you good vibes to wherever you are. I would be filming the video outside if it wasn't so windy, so I'm inside in my room on this comfortable yoga mat. In this video, it's gonna be another, let me fix this camera. In this video, it's gonna be another rant style video where I open up to you about some reflections. Reflections is a big theme for me this month that I've been thinking about. And again, a lot of these things I haven't actually internalized. They're just thoughts in my mind that I'm thinking about that I want to share with you. If you agree or disagree, please leave a comment below so we can have an open discussion with not just me and you, but maybe with other people in the chat. We can all learn from each other and be open. Mamma mia. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to be talking about discernment. I'm going to be talking about success and networking. What's the last thing I want to be talking about? How to accept differing opinions and different perspectives. To start this all off, I'm going to tell you a story that I think can bring together all the themes that I want to talk about. At least I hope it does. So as of late, I've been reflecting a lot on my business, primarily my cinnamon bun online bakery pop-up business where I go to events around Long Island and New York City, and I make my cinnamon buns and other flavored buns, which has been a lot of fun, and I've been adapting to a lot of changes, but ultimately I'm very grateful for doing it. I'm focusing on that as well as trying to get outside my comfort zone and network again with people from different backgrounds. I haven't really networked since 2019. Last week, one of my friends from elementary school, check out the cardinal hat, he sent me an invite to join this Zoom call. They're going to be discussing a passive income way and talk about marketing and finance. I really didn't read too much into it. He was going to join the call and I was like, what the heck? Let me just try something new. Let me get outside of my comfort zone. I joined the call. People that were working for the company, the guys were wearing a shirt and tie, very formal, very polished. And then the CEO started talking right away about his childhood and all this stuff. And he basically established a familiarity saying that his parents were middle class and he really wanted some way to be financially free. That's my story too. He started off his presentation by explaining how most jobs in our society require you to be there. They're paying you for your time actually in the place. And he was saying, you don't want to be a slave to your job. You want your job to work for you. Okay, I understand. Like, I agree with that. Like, if you open a restaurant, the restaurant owns you. You don't own the restaurant. That's his point. So you want to create a system of something where you're not tied to any location and you're more flexible. I get it. Not to say that you can't create a system in a restaurant where you don't need to be there all the time either. You can, okay? You can. Anyway, he was appealing to our emotions. He was saying that this is how you feel probably. You're in your job right now. And then he stated the problem, how a lot of people in our society are not financially literate in investing and insurance, which is true. You know, and there's all these charts and everything. He said that their company helps educate the middle class in these investments and insurance, these sorts of things. I was like, okay, makes sense. And then we went to a slide with how much money you can earn by working for this company. And these are all high figures based on real data that they have pulled. So you see the data, like you can make a lot of money for this company and you're doing a good thing because you're teaching people about financial literacy. And as I'm listening to this presentation, an old friend that I went to college with, she pops in my mind. We haven't spoken in maybe like 8 years, but I knew that she did something similar to this. I knew that because 8 years ago, while I was a server in a New York City restaurant, she messaged me and she was like, oh, I'm in New York City with my colleagues. We're gonna go to this bar at like 10 p.m. It was like on a Tuesday. You're welcome to stop by. I just got off my shift. I was like, yeah, I'll stop by, say hi. Stop by, hi to her colleagues, and everyone was in suits and everything. And here I am just like a server in my little chambray shirt. They're talking about their business and investing, and they were asking me what I did, and I was like, yeah, I'm a server in an Italian restaurant. I remember she said this, and her colleague, one of them that I was speaking to, was like, dude, that's the worst. You don't want to do that. It's so bad dealing with the guests. You're a slave to the restaurant. Like, why would you want to do that? They had told me that they had worked in restaurants in the past, and I get it. When you do something that's not in alignment with what you want to do, you begin to hate it, like anything, right? But for me specifically, it was my passion. I chose to do this, it really lit me up when guests came to the restaurant and they had a good experience. That made me happy. But they were like, oh yeah, why would you want to do that? You make no money and you got to put up with this and blah, blah, blah. They weren't being nasty, but I was like, I'm not telling you guys what you're doing is not right either. They were explaining it to me, but there was always something unclear about it. There was always something unclear about it, which wasn't transparent. I sensed that at the time. That was 8 years ago, and then we stopped talking. And then while I'm on this Zoom call, like last week, this old friend pops in my mind again. I was like, oh, this sounds like what so-and-so is doing or did. I was legit thinking about her. And then she called me, and then I was like, hey, you popped in my mind. This sounds like what you were doing, and I think it's really cool. And she's like, yeah. I've been doing this for about 10 years now. My life's changed, I make good money. And I was like, oh, that's great. And she's like, oh, let me know if you have any questions about this. If this is right for you, something. And like, oh, Michael, what are you doing right now? And I'm a content creator and I have an online bakery. And she's like, oh, okay. She's like, oh, who referred you? I was like, oh, my friend. And she's like, oh, how well do you know him? I was like, we went to elementary school together. She's like, oh yeah, like he's a good guy, like pretending like she knew him longer than me, which she didn't. I was like, okay, thank you so much. If I have any questions about this type of opportunity, can I reach out to you personally? She's like, yeah, no problem. I got off the call. I didn't really resonate with working for them. I think what they're doing is good, but what was lacking from their speech was the transparency. So they weren't explaining the actual day-to-day job role of what so-and-so would be doing. It was more like relating to our emotions, stating a problem, how this could help people, and then skipping over to how much money you can make. They didn't really explain what particular responsibilities you'll have in your job, what are the expectations. They also didn't have a website or social media, and I think that's very important in this day and age to have social media and a website to establish transparency and credibility. It seems like this little Zoom call was just kind of a word of mouth, secret thing, special invitation with the CEO of this company that no one really knows, but they sell investing 401ks and insurance with, which I think is a good thing. But what they're not talking about is there is an issue. Many people are not educated in this, including myself. So you can learn about this yourself. You can also find people who know what they're doing. A CPA, financial advisor, like someone that I have to do my taxes, he takes care of our investment portfolio. So we pay him a commission to monitor these funds. So this is in effect similar to what he's doing and other financial advisors do. The only difference is he has a website, he's part of a group, this sort of thing. So what they're doing is good, but where's the website? Where's the transparency? What percentage commission are the brokers getting for each sale? These are things that I guess need to be hashed out in time, but again, it was very much the shiny object of just, oh, this is what could possibly be. Not to say that that's bad. I think it's actually good for some people. It's just not how I would do business, and it's not something that I want to do, although I think financial literacy is important, and I do think the service that they're providing, I don't know how they're providing it exactly, is very important too. Anyway, that wasn't a long story, but oh yeah, after the call they were like, oh yeah, Michael, like let's meet up, like if you have any questions let me know, what's a good number I could reach you at. And I was legit point blank, I was like, this is not something that I see myself doing. I thank you for your hospitality and graciousness. This is not aligned with my vision. Boom. Finito no mas. In the past, I would let this drag on and be consumed by this dialogue and get roped into something that I might not want to do for myself. So that's very important. I want to talk about using discernment. I think discernment is very important, especially for good people, good empathetic people like you and me. People that care and have feelings and think with their heart. It's very important to establish boundaries, establish expectations, and also learn how to say no. That has been hard for me. What helps me is always relating back to my North Star. What do I want to do? My life purpose is to bring people together. I found through working in a restaurant and creating good experiences for people. Then I transitioned into virtual cooking classes. Now I'm sharing my experiences with my family, with my friends through my online content creation. So I always want to bring people together. I want to spread positivity, this sort of thing. When I'm unsure of what I want to do, I refer back to my why. Discernment in terms of certain jobs, how you feel about certain people. Usually you'll have a feeling in your gut or in your heart about what feels right to you. Usually you should follow that. So I think you got to ask yourself, does this align with my purpose? Does this align with my vision? Is this where I want to be? And then someone like me is worried about saying no to someone because you want to be nice to someone. But from my experience in learning how to say no and stating how you feel and being honest and open, that's actually the nice thing. And a lot of people might not have your best intentions in mind. Keep that in mind. You know, you're dealing with a lot of different people and there's different social dynamics that you need to be aware of. This opens up the next thing that I want to talk about was how can you understand someone that has a different viewpoint or different opinion? Or in this case, how can you understand something that doesn't really resonate with you? Using the example of this call trying to recruit people to work for this company to sell insurance and investment plans, the best thing that I could do is, not the best thing, one of the things that I could do is ask many questions. Ask so many questions. I might not understand it. I need to ask questions. I can't judge. I need to ask questions. It is weird that they don't have social media. It is weird that they don't have websites, but I have to ask questions. And then can I deduce for myself if this resonates with me? You might think differently about it after asking questions, feeling if it's right for you. You have to ask questions to come to that conclusion. And you might disagree with your friend, with your partner, with the people, and that's okay. As long as you have both taken action to learn more, ask questions about it, and you disagree then, at least you have an understanding of how this person may think about it, and they might have an understanding of how you think about it. Okay, so that's very important with this job offer, with relationships, with a lot of things. I'm losing my train of thought. Gosh darn it. Sorry, my mind's been kind of foggy the last couple of days. I went to boxing today. That was fun. Got some energy out. But still also be comfortable in stating how you feel. You know, standing up for yourself. If this doesn't resonate for you, don't do it. You know, someone like me. So when you're desperate for something or you're emitting this desperate energy, you won't think clearly and you might take something that doesn't actually resonate with you. So any company that states how much money you can gain without talking about, you know, the day-to-day operations of your job, that's a red flag for me because I want to understand how the job actually is. I'm not desperate for money. Fortunately, some people are. Seeing that makes them be like, okay, this job is for me. When I came back from Shanghai, China, after not finding a restaurant job in China, I was a little bit depressed. And I remember on a lot of job interviews that I went to, I was just not happy to be there, but I was also desperate for any job. And I was also playing a victim mentality. I was like, yeah, I couldn't get a job in China, blah, 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 like for me. And I was really desperate. And it took me a long time to find a job because I believe I was putting out that desperate energy and people could feel that. No one wants to hire someone that is like that. It's like when you're dating someone, right? There's a difference between desperate and wanting in terms of a romantic relationship. Desperate is almost needy. Wanting is you're comfortable with who you are and you want to be with that other person. Now, this can be contrived in many ways, but that's just the blanket version. You know, we all have our own issues in relationships too. And at times we show desperation. Like I remember when I was going out in New York City when I was under 25, my friend and I, we tried to talk to different people and talk to girls. We were coming off as desperate, nice people, and we were being inauthentic to who we actually were instead of just like being ourselves and just not caring so much about the outcome. So I learned that after I was 25, where I would go to social events like networking events or something, and I would just chill, and I wouldn't really like try to go to everyone and say hi. I would just be myself, and I wouldn't even talk about my job or career initially. I would just like say, hey, how's it going? Really down to earth and just being myself. So that's what I mean by not being desperate and needy. Another point that I want to talk about. Oh yeah. Also on the topic of of networking and meeting the right people. In 2019, where I was emitting this desperate energy and I couldn't find a job, I went to several events in New York City where I tried to meet different people. And I have never met more people that were not transparent and not true during that time. Like 3 people that had similar opportunities. They said they had this mentor figure that I could work for and learn all their lessons. I was like, okay, who is this mentor? Like, what's their name? Like, I can't tell you yet. Okay, red flag. I met so many people like this that were trying to make me work for them because I wasn't grounded. So I was meeting these types of people. So I think once we change our energy, because it's a frequency, we emit positivity, we attract positivity. We emit desperation, we attract desperation. So let's talk about success now. So I was talking with my friend Jeremy and his girlfriend about concepts of success and working hard. I think no matter what you decide to do, if you try to do that selling investment thing that I talked about in the beginning, start your own restaurant, or you have your own online business, no matter what you do, it's gonna require a lot of time, energy, and work on your part. Of course, it's not like hustle and die and destroy yourself into the ground, but it's gonna require a lot of work and effort, no matter what you do. If you want to have a flexible work from home lifestyle, you're going to need to work very hard to get to this flexible work from home lifestyle. I have the work from home lifestyle right now, but am I making income from it? I'm making a little bit of money from YouTube, and I started selling t-shirts and the cooking course with my grandmother, but it's not a viable source of income. I'm still very fortunate to do it, but it takes time, and I've been doing this for 3 years. So I think patience is very important in anything we do, and you can't be CEO right away. That's why these companies that show you income figures right away, they don't resonate with me, because you might not hit that threshold right away. There's another YouTuber, his name is Eric from California. He's a nice young man. He has a really good mind and heart. He came out with a video recently about how he quit his real estate job. So his real estate job, you can make excess of $150,000 a year to work as a real estate agent in San Francisco. That's what you could make, okay? But that's not what most people make, because they may not be able to actually reach that level, put in that work. Or they could reach that level, and this is what Eric said in his video. I'll put his YouTube channel in the link below. He said that you could be very successful and work for this real estate job, but does the day-to-day ins and outs of what you're actually doing make you happy? And his answer was no, it didn't make him happy, so it wasn't worth it to reach this level. Some people, and everyone's different, want different things. So it might work for you, it might not work for me. So keep that in mind. I follow another spiritual speaker. His name is Bashar. This is kind of weird. He is a channel. He is a voice for this extraterrestrial being that speaks through him. I know it sounds crazy. And he said one thing. He said he has a YouTube channel, so you can check it out if you're interested. Also show discernment with psychics, with religions, any type of group. If they're just showing you all fun times, and you're not getting like the nitty-gritty information of what you're actually learning, and it doesn't vibe with you, then maybe it's not meant for you. But if you're desperate, easy to latch on to anything because you're finding comfort, right? They're providing comfort. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was talking about the spiritual person, Bashar. So he said in one of his talks that we have the power to not just do what has been done, but to do something that has never been done before, to create something new in a new way. And that's truly magical. So that's possible. So you can do that too. Just because someone did it this way doesn't mean you need to do it this way. You can change, or you can create something completely new. That's the power that we have, as we call ourselves like co-creators. You create, we're creating our life. That's what I believe in. Now let's talk about networking and finding help. There's a lot of programs out there these days that are like fast tracks, a course to help you learn finance and these sorts of things. I think they're very good, but a lot of them, I do think the big reason why they're good is not because what they're actually teaching you all the time. It's because of the accountability. It's the accountability. They say like it takes, 30 days or 60 days to create a new habit, and in joining a group or a course, it's reinforcing a step-by-step process. Some people need a step-by-step process in order to take action on their goal. Just think, if you want to quit alcohol or quit eating sugar or quit caffeine, the first week is always the hardest, and then you get through that, you build up momentum, you build up momentum, you build up momentum, you build up momentum, you build up momentum. So sometimes it's good to have someone lead you in the right direction. I'm the type of person that takes action and sometimes makes mistakes and then adapts and adjusts. And I also have a mentor, I've had mentors at various stages of my life. Like when I was working in the restaurant, I had a mentor, a restaurant mentor. I applied for the company program, and he helped me transition from my bartending role to my management role within the company. I wish we kept in touch still. We don't, but I feel like that relationship was beneficial and it served its purpose. But I'm still more of a go ahead, jump, take the first step type of person, because with these different programs, the world changes so fast now. So what you're learning right now could actually be outdated, or there may be a different way to do exactly what you're learning. So I think my advice to anyone who's taking these programs with these mentors is it's great because it's holding you accountable, but also learn the process, learn how they're teaching you, but also be open to new things, new ways, because things change so quickly. So just because they did it like this right now, if you try to do it like this, if you create something new, it could be more beneficial for you. First, you have to learn first, right? Like I've had a personal trainer before for a year, and we still keep in touch sometimes. And he helped me learn more about compound movements like squats, deadlifts, and chest press. So that was beneficial. But that's not the type of exercises that resonate with me right now. I like boxing and yoga, but I learned. And it's good to have someone to help you on your journey. But still, at the end of the day, the only one that could motivate you to do what you want to do is yourself. And if you fail, you can't blame your mentor or the course, because things change. And just because it worked out for them doesn't mean the same exact thing can work for you. They're selling you a system, a methodology, right? But that always needs to be adapted and adjusted as we're beginning to understand it's happening a lot faster. Learn their process, but always be open to tweaking it for yourself, okay? You'll figure out a way, okay? Believe in yourself. You can create something magical. So I'm gonna end it there. If you guys enjoyed, my mom is talking very loudly in the other room. If you guys enjoyed this talk, please leave a comment below. Thank you so much for listening. Again, this video is weird because my mind's all over the place, but have a good day. I wish you health, wealth, and happiness. And I hope what I talked about briefly about discernment, success, networking, and how to gauge or how to understand difference and accept it, this could be applied to all areas of your life. And these are just thoughts, so interpret it how you like and think about it how you like, okay? Comment below. Let's create a nice dialogue. Peace.